Oh no, my bus is missing. Whatever happened? Oh my goodness. Well, let's look around here. Maybe it's over here. Oh, there it is. So yeah, I moved the bus over here. I'll be able to store sheet metal under the family pavilion here. Looks like a company called Phoenix Metals has the best deal on my sheet metal to do the roof raise, and I have custom hat channel being made with a local fabricator. But yeah, I moved the bus. I had to wait till today because it was like 18 degrees. As you can see, based on the way the ground compressed, if I would have done this when the ground wasn't frozen, I would have just been quagmired in mud trying to move it. But got it moved over. I still need to run to town, get some pavers. I broke the other pavers with the bus and they're stuck frozen to the ground right now. So I'm going to go get some new pavers for under the tires, and then also to shore up jacking points so that I can level this thing, so that we'd be ready to do the roof raise. So anyway, it's moved. Just had to wait till the ground was frozen. Okay, so I got the pavers under the wheels. The ground was pretty darn soft. It's warmed up a little bit today. So you can see the deep rut that was formed right there just from backing up a couple times. It's about 3 inches deep, but I did get the wheels on top of pavers. I think I'm going to inch it forward, maybe. Maybe not. I guess it's okay. But the weight of the bus is going to be distributed off the tires onto some jacks here shortly as I level it. But I wanted to get pavers under there just so when it does rain in the spring, we hopefully have a little easier time getting this thing out of here. It doesn't sink down into ruts, but obviously not going to move it when the ground is soft, but just don't want it to be sinking deep, axle deep into the ground. So anyhow, we're going to get it leveled today here for preparation for the roof raise. Okay, so I'm laying down these blocks right here underneath this lowest point of strong frame. This will probably eventually be where I hook my front receiver that I intend to put in, along with the moose guard and whatnot. Got to think that plan through though, because there's a lot of potential storage space underneath here. You know, I may want to build some kind of a box that slides out of the front. Maybe that'll be part of the design for that front bumper. I may have a drawer that slides out for tools, or might be where the generator goes. Not sure, but you know, we got quite a bit of space right up in there, down to that guard in the middle at that level. So, but anyhow, I'm going to use the screw jacks that I got from Northern Tool. They're about 50 bucks a piece. They hold 5 tons a piece. I'm not going to necessarily lift the bus off the wheels, but my intent is to stabilize it and level it, and then I'm going to go to the junkyard and get some used scissor jacks to take potential sag out of the middle at probably, I'm going to say probably 4 or so, maybe 6 more points of support, just to take any potential sag out of the middle as we cut the roof. So I'll get started here blocking these jacks in place, and I'll get a level out, and we'll get this bus leveled. Okay, so we actually decided that it needed to be on a more level spot. It was getting hard to level it, even between the two buildings where I put it. So we had some gravel here. My brother moved some trailers that were parked there. So we're going to pull it up on the gravel. It'll make it easier to work on. Hopefully it won't sink into the ground like it was doing between the two buildings. So that's what I'm going to do, is move it. All right, so we got the bus pulled over here on the gravel. Don't have it fully leveled yet, but hopefully you can see that. I've got the wheels blocked up to make it a little easier to level. Right now we're cleaning out the debris inside the bus using the tractor bucket on the John Deere here. It's handy to have a mid-sized tractor around. So anyhow, just cleaning out the bus at this point, then we'll finish leveling it. That'll be today's job. Okay, so Maddie and I got the bus swept out after getting junk out of it. Just going to do a broom clean at the moment. That's good enough so that hopefully this coming weekend we'll do the roof raise. The hat channels are supposed to be ready to be picked up on Wednesday. So once they're ready, then the following weekend we'll get the sucker raised. That's the plan anyway. That's about it. Okay, so back at the bus here again today, Sunday. Got a 30-ton Harbor Freight jack, probably bigger than I need, but better to have a bigger one than one that's too small. Got 4 of these Northern Tool screw jacks. I'm not going to use those for primary lifting in the back of the bus. I will in the front, but in the back I'm going to level 2 jack stands, use that heavy-duty jack on the axle, get the bus raised up, and then I'm going to drop it gently down onto those jack stands. And that way, because the jack stands are already, well, first of all, the cribbing is what I'm going to level. Then I'll set the jack stands on after I raise the bus and make sure they're the same level. So anyway, that's the plan. On the inside of the bus, I'll use a laser level, and then I'll use those stands in the front, 2 of those, to do the fine-tuning of the leveling. So that's the game plan. We'll see how it works. Okay, so I'm under the bus. I've got some cribbing blocks. I've got them set up. I'm checking the level block to block, and what I've determined here is this side, excuse me, I'm shimmying over. This side probably needs to come up, looks like about 1/4 inch. Let's show you with the bubble here. Needs to come up a little bit, about 1/4 inch, or 3/4 of an inch is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to put the wood under it and make sure the blocks are level. Once that happens, I'll put the jack stands on, and then I'll put the 30-ton jack under that axle right there. You know, we'll put the jack stands at the same notch level, and at that point we'll be able to set the back of the bus on. It'll be level side to side. Okay, so I've got the cribbing in place. I've got this about as level as I can get it. I've got boards underneath that helped smooth things out a little bit because I'm on a gravel spot. But jack stands are in place. I've got them raised up above the rail. I'm going to start the bus to inflate the airbags, and then I'm planning to slide those jack stands under the rails while the airbags are inflated. Then I'll use the brake treadle to release pressure in the system and just kind of gently drop the bus down onto those stands. So I'm also going to do a before sound here on this straight pipe, because I'm going to probably install the muffler here today. See what the sound is afterwards. So we'll do that when I start the bus. So anyhow, I just figured I would do a short clip of progress. Alright, so in the front of the bus, this is the current audio level before I put the muffler on. We'll see if the muffler is actually going to make much of a difference. Let's walk outside here. There's the audio level beside the outside here. It's the current audio level with no muffler. Okay, so the compressor just kicked off. You can see there's quite a lot of lift achieved here by the airbags. So I'm going to move the jack stands in place, and then I'll use the foot treadle to lower the bus onto the stands. Alright, so I hear I've got a small hiss of air coming out of the airbags. Real slow. Something's leaking pressure. It should drop down. I think the one on the driver's side, based on the way they're inflated, is the one that's more apt to leak air. But the jack stands are in place. They should be touching here in a little bit. I'm going to go run and get some strapping for the exhaust so I can put the muffler on. That's something else I'd like to achieve today. So, okay. Okay, so I've got the Northern Tool 5-ton screw jacks on these receiver mount tabs here. I think that's for a front hitch or just to hold the bumper on. But got these in. Looks like I probably just have to come up a couple more inches or so based on using the level on the side of the bus on the rub rail. And then I'll use a laser level inside to fine tune everything. But after that, I'm going to just get some scissor jacks, screw jacks in the back on the engine cradle, but scissor jacks in the middle, you know, just to snug things up a little bit on the frame so that when we cut the roof, things don't sag in the middle. But I'll have to go get the scissor jacks after I've got this thing actually level. But again, that's not really supporting weight. That's just taking the, you know, not supporting much weight. It's just going to take the sag out of the middle. That's all. Okay, so I've set the level on top of the rub rail on the outside on this side. And got it pretty well dialed in here. Maybe needs to come up. Let's see here. Just a skosh in the front. And then I'll do the other side. So I'm going to try raising it just a little bit here. Okay, now this side's dialed in front to back. Got the level on it. Looks real good. Okay, now we're on the other side. It's awfully close to being dialed in. Maybe a little bit in the front, which is to the left of the view here. Okay, so the floor of the bus also agrees that we're level front to back. Now let's try doing it the other way and see side to side how we're looking. We'll go right in the middle of the bus here. And it's saying we're just a smidge off, maybe about a 1/4 inch to the driver's side. So raising the driver's side about a 1/4 of an inch would fix that. So we'll probably attempt that once we, well, I can do it a little in the front, but once we put the engine cradle supports on, I'll tighten the one on that side up a little bit more. Okay, so I got the engine cradle supported, just kind of snugged in with these screw jacks here. So we got 2 in the front, 2 in the back. Of course, the main support is happening with the jack stands there. Let's go inside the bus and we'll see how level this actually is. Okay, now side to side, it's just a little off still. Let's see how far. If we raise it up, it looks like about a 1/4 inch. I may actually just let that go. It's pretty hard to get completely accurate on a 40-foot bus. So I don't know if the camera's picking it up very well yet, but I've got a laser level. You might see the faint red line above. the bolt channel there, and it would seem that the bus is pretty level, really. I mean, might actually be a little low in the front, just a smidge. I don't know that I'm going to get it much better than this. It should still be structurally good once I make sure the sag's out of it. It's pretty darn close, really. Okay, so I used some all thread and springs and some banding. Well, actually it was just a flat iron with holes in it. Got the new muffler, which is smaller than the original muffler in diameter. I got that put in place. I'm going to have to mess with the exhaust pipe a little bit to get it attached. Might have to weld a little bit, but yeah, it's coming along. And there's Madeline. Alright, so I'm on my way to the fabrication shop to pick up the custom hat channels that I have made, had to make. They are designed to cap the old hat channels so we can just run a bolt through them quickly, and then I'll plug weld those caps to the old ones. And then in the gap, probably 24 to 26 inches, I'll use strips of sheet metal to kind of fill in that space. And when we're done, these will be plenty strong, stronger than the original bus was. So anyway, on my way to go get the hat channels picked up, 30 of them. Okay, so I'm here at OmniFab picking up my hat channels. Just about finished loading these into my car. There were 30 of them. That's the last one. We're going to check the fit. They're inside right now looking for the original piece of hat channel I brought in, so we can check the fit just to make sure that these are what I was needing. So anyhow, these guys were really good to work with. Okay, so I've got just a little piece of what they made at the fab shop. I think they used this to mock it up before they built all the pieces, but anyhow, putting it on the hat channel, you can see that it's a pretty good fit. The gap here is side to sides to be expected because these hat channels aren't perfectly square. They kind of actually go in a little bit toward the flange. They're not 90 degrees, but yeah, this is definitely close enough that we'll be able to bolt it and plug weld it in place. So I'm pleased. This will make the job a lot easier with the raise. So each of these will get 4 bolts. I'm thinking at least 1/4 inch, probably one size bigger, grade 8 bolts. And I'll pre-drill the holes so that I can plug weld from the outside in against the new hat channel caps. And then where it's split along this new surface, touching wherever the original hat channel split, I'm going to have a piece of a flat piece of metal that'll just get tacked to this channel here, and then that'll close the gap left by the opening of the original channel for us to rivet sheet metal to. So really pleased with how this turned out. I'm going to bring them inside the bus here. Okay, so those 3 hat channel caps I'll use for miscellaneous stuff. I'm not sure exactly what yet, but these here I've lined up where they will go. So there was a total of 30, and I've kind of leaned them up against where they're going to go. You'll notice these 2 posts are missing the hat channel caps. That is because on both sides this will be the living room area, and we will plan to have, at least on one side for sure, probably both, we'll plan to have a window that's going to be framed in and will be long, about the size of the back of the couch, and on this side as well. So anyway, I have the hat channels positioned and pretty much ready to raise the roof on this sucker. Alright, so I'm at Tractor Supply right now preparing for the roof raise. They're the place to get grade 8 bolts. These are $4.49 a pound. I weighed 20 bolts came out a little over a pound, and then multiplied by 6, and I think I'm going to get 7 pounds of the bolts just to be sure. I need about 120 is my estimation for 4 per hat channel cap. So I also got to count out the washers and lock washers and nuts here.